coming from Jefferson City. It's just so nice to hear just a little bit of quiet. I thought I'd bask in it for a moment. We are certainly excited to be here this morning in St. Louis with some of our state's most innovative entrepreneurs to announce an initiative that will help Missouri's small businesses grow and create jobs. I want to thank the folks here at the Center for Emerging Technology. We've worked with them on a number of fronts, and we tremendously appreciate, Marcia, your leadership in this community. It is always refreshing, quite frankly inspiring, to spend time with entrepreneurs. When it comes to economic development, startup businesses are where the rubber meets the road. I appreciate the folks here at the Center for Emerging Technologies and for the 3 businesses we just visited for hosting us this morning. I'm pleased to be joined today by my point person on job creation efforts, David Kerr. He's the Director of the Department of Economic Development. David is leading our initiatives to help Missouri businesses create jobs and spark new investment, and his team will play a key role in implementing this new important program. As always, it is good to see some of the area's local leaders here with us. I'm especially glad to have members of the business community with us this morning. Also, 2 members of the Missouri MTC board are with us today, Chairman Joe Bannister and member Dan Meehan. We appreciate your, Joe, good to see you. Thanks for your efforts. We've got your executive director in Kansas City this morning, or otherwise he would be here to help us this afternoon on a complicated yet important matter there. From day one as governor, my priority has been clear. Let's create jobs for Missourians and let's get our economy moving forward. That commitment means that we must fight each and every day for every single job in every single corner of our state. Sometimes we can create jobs in big numbers, and we've seen some big wins over the last few years. 300 jobs at Unisys here in St. Louis, 500 jobs at Expedia down in Springfield, 800 jobs at IBM in Columbia, hundreds more at Jed Midwest in Kansas City, DuPont Pioneer in the Boot Heel, and other communities across our state. But those big wins are just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to economic growth. We're also fighting every day for every small business and emerging businesses across our state. We're fighting to help entrepreneurs turn their dreams into bricks and mortar jobs and profits. Because as the folks here at the Center for Emerging Technologies can tell you, our small businesses are a mighty force for job creation. Now, one of my first priorities as governor was to create new tools to help small businesses grow. That's why early in 2009, we established the Missouri Small Business Loan Program. And since 2009, this program has made it possible for small businesses across Missouri, including web designers and woodworkers, cattle farms and sign manufacturers, sawmills and toy makers, to secure loans to help them gain access to capital to help them grow, prosper, and hire more Missourians. Today, we're here to announce another initiative to help small business grow. This initiative focuses on high-tech, high-growth businesses all across Missouri. The type of businesses we just toured here at the Center for Emerging Technologies, and it's called the State Small Business Credit Initiative. Several months ago, my administration applied to the federal government for funding that was being made available for states through the Small Business Jobs Act of 2010. We were one of the first states to apply to get these funds, and our application included some very innovative ideas that really got noticed at the highest levels in Washington. In fact, just this morning, U.S. Secretary Treasury Timothy Geithner personally announced the approval of Missouri's proposal during his remarks in Washington. Specifically, the Secretary has awarded nearly $27 million to funding to significantly expand small businesses in Missouri, focusing on the high-tech companies that will transform our economy for the 21st century. In his remarks, Secretary Geithner said these funds would provide exactly the right combination of tools to nurture emerging high-tech businesses and help them grow. Now, this is great news for Missouri's economy, and I am proud that my administration could work closely with the federal government to ensure that our small businesses will have access to these very important new resources. Before we take questions, let me cover just a few more of the details here. Missouri's allotment of approximately $26.9 million in SSBCI funds will be broken down into 2 general funds, the Grow Missouri Loan Fund and the IDEA funds. The Grow Missouri Fund is a $10 million revolving loan fund that will provide flexible loans to targeted companies to facilitate the complete funding of a project. When businesses are looking for one final piece to complete their financing puzzle, The Grow Missouri Fund will be able to help, and we have certainly heard time and time again the difficulty of accessing capital in these organizations is real, and this will provide a needed gap. The goals of Grow Missouri are to accelerate the development of expanding Missouri businesses in targeted sectors, boost private capital investment, and create and retain jobs. Now, the second program is known as IDEA, which stands for Innovation, Development, and Entrepreneurship Advancement, and spelling. The IDEA funds are a series of multifaceted programs that will be administered by the Missouri Technology Corporation to accelerate private investment in early-stage, high-growth technology companies. These funds will assist businesses at various stages of development, from providing seed capital at the earliest stages to providing venture capital to help the company achieve initial milestones and benchmarks, to assisting with financing for expansion once the business has taken root. These are all areas where there are huge needs, folks. These spots are spot on. In my now almost 2.5 years as governor, I've gone around and talked to businesses, especially small emerging businesses. These are the areas where dollars are directly needed. And with these versatile programs, we'll be able to assist startup businesses through early stages of development as Missouri entrepreneurs turn bold ideas into jobs and economic growth. In business terms, we call that providing financing opportunities at every stage along the continuum of capital. By doing so, we will ensure that Missouri remains a leader in nurturing high-tech, high-growth startup companies like I've had the opportunity to see here today. Folks, the businesses we toured this morning are exactly the kind of next-generation jobs we need to be investing in, and these investment funds will provide critical financing to help these businesses and others like them throughout our state grow and prosper, quite frankly, accelerate. This means that we will be able to continue to create jobs today and position our economy for continued growth in the future. Now, the application period for these programs will open on April 8th. General information about the programs is already available through the state of Missouri's website at mo.gov. Beginning April 8th, folks will be able to access applications at mo.gov as well. We should be able to start approving loans within about a month after the application process has begun. We are prepared to move in this state, and we want to find the ideas and the entrepreneurs that we can partner with to move and move quickly. Now, today is just the latest sign that our Missouri economy is on the move. After tough job losses in 2008 and 2009, Missouri turned the corner in 2010 when we ended the year with a net gain in jobs, thanks to significant investment by some of the world's largest companies and to continued investment by small businesses across our state. More evidence of our momentum is found in Missouri's export success. Our state's international exports for the year 2010, which totaled nearly $13 billion, increased by a whopping 35% in 2009. That trend has continued early in 2011. At the same time, we've kept the state's fiscal house in order, and national leaders, including Forbes and Moody's, have pointed to Missouri as a great place to do business. All of these point to one conclusion. Missouri's economy will continue with its positive upswing in 2011. We remain focused on job creation, on investing our economic tools strategically, on keeping our fiscal house in order, and by increasing our state exports. As we continue to pursue these strategies, I am absolutely confident that Missouri will be poised to compete and win in our global economy. This significant investment in small business growth and developments will give us additional tools to intensify these efforts. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I'd be glad to take any questions that the press may have. We did get everything we asked for. Under a formula, you were eligible for a certain amount under the federal amount. This $26.9 million number is the maximum allowed. We were the 4th state in the country to get these dollars. If you look back at the legislative history of this, the original bill as passed by Congress and signed by the President in early September dealt with a program out of Michigan that was a program that backed up loans, in essence, guaranteed loans. We have a number of programs like that in the Show Me State already. And we thought moving forward and tying into the network we have with folks like the Centers for Emerging Technologies as well as these young entrepreneurs, the challenge we kept hearing about was the ability to get the capital to grow, the ability to get investors at critical times, and sometimes even equity partners at critical times. We think this proposal that has been granted the dollars now by the Treasury fits right in that box. Well, we hope that to leverage this $26.9 or $26.7 million into about 10 times that investment, and the requirements require that you target towards getting that. So we would hope that over the next few years, this, in essence, $26 million would lead to $260 million of further investments in economic activity.
What impresses you when you visit these small businesses and learn about the things they're working on?
I mean, a couple of things. First of all, it's great to see people willing to take a risk. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. The economy of the future, you got to go out and grab it. It's not going to come at you. It's going to require people who are willing to use their brains, use their bodies, and to take a risk. And everybody here, in some sense, brings a focused risk. We're not talking about a risk of jumping off a railroad bridge down in hematite or something. We're talking about focused risk here, in which you put yourself on the line, your dollars on it. So number one, I just like to be around entrepreneurs. They push. Number two, any numbers that you look at indicate to you that as we move forward, having to grow businesses inside your state is the most efficient economic development model. We often get a lot of time and energy is spent on putting together very expensive packages for companies coming into the state or for folks that we're bidding against some other state for or whatever, but growing our own is more efficient, more effective, and quite frankly, long run. And this is an impressive group of very smart people. I understood a percentage of what they were explaining to me, but it seems that all of these in a very mature center here are prepared to move to the next level.
Governor, how does this relate to other proposals that have tried to address the same issue the state has for the last few years, like LaCira, the Rome State Initiative, and the Angel Investor Tax Credit? Where does this fit? Does this replace those, or is this sort of supplemental?
It's a great question. I mean, LaCira is going to take a while to get going. Assuming it gets passed, that's a fund that's got to build up over a number of years in order to get the kind of power, to analogize to the Kansas Bioscience Fund or whatever. It takes a while to get the dollars, and since that takes an increment of dollars after the jobs are created, it takes a number of years before that gets robust. The other thing is this hits the nail on the head as far as kind of a real, when I talk about the continuum of capital, different companies have different challenges at different times as they scale up. And as like the three we saw today, you can see where they would have financial challenges at key moments. By being flexible and moving through our public-private partnership with Missouri Technology Corporation here, we think this is going to be a program that meets those companies where their challenges are. And with the broad board we have, with the significant experience we have at the Missouri Technology Corporation, I'm confident that they will look at things carefully. They will help us make the right investments, and with those right investments, we'll create a lot of jobs. So this is specifically focused on trying to target areas where companies have had good ideas, have had good business models, but for financing reasons have not been able to make that next jump forward when there's a clear market for their product. Oftentimes, as Marcia said, I mean, oftentimes we're talking about international markets for products made here too. I mean, these are not just going to be sold down the street, could be sold in different continents.
Governor, the small inventors, mom and pop inventors, feel like these processes are freezing them out. What will this bill do to this money do? Will you reach out to that sector?
Yeah, specifically targeted to help those smaller businesses. And while we're here today talking about high tech, there's a $10 million fund here. Also, will focus on traditional type businesses that may be less than high tech. We've seen some business models that are relatively low tech, but there's a clear demand for them. I mean, one we've seen without promoting any individual company or whatever, or saying that this is the most genius thing to do. There's a growing market out there, for example, for oil changes done while people are working. So the oil change guys will come and take your oil out and replace it and fix it and move on down the line, but it requires some investment of dollars to get those products. We see in the wood manufacturing area where we've had a very good export year for our hardwood, both Both Hickory as well as Walnut in Missouri have had outstanding international markets lately, but the folks don't have the saws, don't have the capacity to get to the saws that can make flooring, which are relatively expensive. So we look even at those relatively low-tech business models, you've got clear markets. So that's why we put about the 16.7 over the Technology Corporation and about 10 over then into traditional business models that will fit for the future,
This is
the present and the future.
This
Steve.
is one-time money that has to be spent over a certain period of time.
Yeah,
is that right?
I mean, yeah, we've got to get this money moving, but with the loan fund, I mean, you're going to have repayments on that, so hopefully this will jumpstart a significant amount of activity over the years. But we want to move quickly. We want to get these dollars out in the street. We want to get investing with the right companies at the right point so that we can help them jumpstart into significant equity and significant employment.
What is the time frame it has to be let out, do you know?
April 8th. What's the back end? 2 years. That's why you bring David. He just gives you the highly technical advice of the Department of Economic Development. 2. Okay. Appreciate it.
Tying into the earlier question
Sure.
about some small businesses saying, well, we would like to be able to, for certain reasons, they don't, they don't meet the requirements. But for a philosophical question, should government be in the position to pick winners and losers, or who gets the business?
This money was made available federally by a bill passed in Congress, signed by the President. When that happens, as governor of the state of Missouri, I'm going to work very, very hard to be quick to the point and to try to hit the needs that will create jobs in the state of Missouri. For me, as I said before, this is being governor of the state is not a theoretical job. It's a very practical job. And when there's $26 million that you can turn into $260 million in the next few years to put people in Missouri at work, especially when you're targeting with people that are willing to take the risk, to be entrepreneurs, to open businesses, to help expand our economy, like I say, I don't. The time for theory is past. The time for practicality is here. We're going to continue to compete aggressively for dollars and opportunities that are available throughout the country. Thank you all very much.